Hello and welcome to the debut of Frizz and the Grizz podcast. My name is Steve Trudeau. I'm joined by my good friend D. Frizz. What's up, buddy?
Yes, sir. What's cooking, baby? Happy Monday.
Happy effing Monday. You were digging that lead-up music, huh? I saw you jamming the
if
camera.
this is what we're gonna play every time, I'm gonna be bumping every single time, bro. That shit's dope.
I love the energy, man. I love it. So, brand new sports and pop culture podcast. I'm going to apologize in advance to the audience. It might be a little clunky at first, right? We're getting the chemistry down, figuring it out. Stick with us. It'll be a good time. I'm telling you that right now. So for today's show, lots of NFL football stuff. We're trying to talk pre-show, like where we're going to start the show. And Darian, I threw out a word or two words, and you were very fired up. What were the two words? You remember?
Oh damn. I know you said Lamar Jackson.
That was it.
Oh,
You
okay,
said
just
you had
those. Yeah.
something. You had something for me on that. And I was like, all right, don't tell me now.
Yeah.
Wait for the show. So what did you have for me on
So
Lamar
this
Jackson?
this whole situation with his contract, man, like I'm not gonna lie, it's got me like very frustrated. Because we don't know if we're in like a prove it to me now league, and we don't know if it's like, yeah, the proof is in the pudding, if the history is actually helpful, or if like you think about somebody's future. And with this contract that he still hasn't been signed, like they offered him something. I was watching it today, like he has the availability to sign a contract right now, but it's not the guaranteed money that he's looking for. And point blank, like if Deshaun Watson got what he just got up in Cleveland, I'm not like, if I'm him, I'm not signing for anything less than him with everything that he's got going on, literally off the field. And like, he hasn't played any. I love Deshaun Watson, loved him since he was in Clemson. He hasn't played it down in a year. He just got paid. So it's like, I don't understand how you could have the record that he has. Granted, like people will say, well, what about his playoff record? Don't worry, I hit you with the stats for that too. But like he has the record that he has, the passing that he's had, the rushing that he's had, an MVP. Like, what else does this man have to prove to be a long-time quarterback? Baltimore drafted him and changed everything about Baltimore. And now they're like, whoa, I know that we've won the most in the NFL since we've had him. I know that we have a similar playoff record to other quarterbacks that have been paid, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we're gonna pay him. I just don't get it. So like that situation's got me, it's got me up in arms. I got me uptight because of it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Like I like him. I like watching him play. He's just the weirdest player because he's super polarized and there's a lot of haters. People either love him or hate him. There's like no one in between. Just to play devil's advocate, like if I'm the management there, the biggest risk factor with him is like he is a mobile quarterback and he's going to take a lot of hits, and that's kind of like what makes him special. And I think what they're doing is they're waiting as long as they can to pay him, because why pay him now when next year he could just destroy his knee or something and just never be the same. So for me, I just think that they're just trying to wait it out and see how long can I get by on this cheap rookie deal before I have to pay the man. But the thing with him is like he's being way too nice about this. If I'm Lamar Jackson, dude, I'm just not showing up. I'm playing hardball and being an asshole like every day until I get my money.
See, that's the thing though, again, granted, I heard it today. Mama raised him right. He signed up to play football. He's a football player. He's going to be on the field. He's the first one in the locker room and the last one out. He's helping his offensive lineman. He's getting people, even though whatever his name was from OU left, the wide receiver that just left to go play in
Hollywood
Arizona.
Brown.
Yeah, like, oh, he wasn't playing enough. You know how many drop passes he had? Like he got the ball to people. So like part of it was his fault. But like Lamar's just there to ball. He's gonna show up, he's gonna do his thing. And the problem with that is like he's not gonna hold out. He's not. He's gonna play. He's gonna go on the field. He's not gonna play preseason, obviously, because like that's just gonna risk injury. But like he's gonna show up week one. He even gave him a deadline. He's just like, yo, you need to find out this contract stuff. If you don't talk to me until the offseason. And then in the offseason, you're gonna franchise me, I'm gonna get paid a lot. So if you franchise me, I'm gonna get paid a lot. And then if you don't long term me, like all you're doing is delaying the inevitable for me to be like, you know what, you franchised me twice. I'm definitely not re-signing. Good luck with restarting your franchise, because like by then, JK is gonna be up and gone.
Mm.
That defense that they have is gonna be older. You know what I mean? Like Marcus Peters ain't gonna be there for much longer if they realize that they're not gonna be playing offense. So it's like they got a lot to risk. And I just don't. I'm not a fan of not paying him, especially when the results like show. When he's
Yeah.
on the field, they're dominant. When he's off the field, obviously they're not. Like there's a huge difference.
Yeah, he does a lot for that offense, especially considering how barren they are as far as talent is concerned. Especially last year, who they the rollout at running back last year. It was like a Saints
Oh, they
runoff in
brought.
Madison.
I think they even brought back like Adrian
It was
Peterson. Like
bad, but
yeah.
I think Ty makes a good point in the chat. Like, Josh Allen got the bag. He's a mobile quarterback. What I don't understand is like you could compare the two's career, Josh Allen and Lamar, and Josh Allen suffered way more earlier in his career, like he looked like he was not going to be a
Mhm.
successful quarterback the first couple of years, whereas Lamar second year is winning MVP. So like even the trajectory of the two, Lamar was instantly better than Josh Allen. And I'm not a Josh Allen hater. I like Josh Allen too. He's really good. I just think what's hurting them comparing Josh Allen to Lamar Jackson is like coming into the NFL. I forgot what GM it was. It was some one of those old GMs, but he was like, "Oh, Lamar Jackson's a wide receiver." I just think that stigma is kind of stuck with him, and
It's
he's
going
not able
to.
to break it.
Well, it's not him. We won't go down the route as it being just him, because we know that there's not too many people that get offered or told to play different positions. I'll digress on that subject. But
Yeah,
what I
we know
mean,
we know what that's all about.
yeah, what I mean by that is like let's just compare the people that like he's comping, right? So like his salary right now, I think I looked it up like 35th in the NFL. Like ridiculous. Granted, he's on his rookie contract, but there are people that are also on their rookie contracts that weren't drafted 30th. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of round one, whose value is there? So when you take out those people that are paid more than him that aren't on rookie contracts, is Tyrod Taylor better than him? No. Is Mitchell Trubisky better than him? No. Is Marcus Mariota like you know what I mean? Like these are names that like people that are getting paid their second contract that he can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you even compare like the numbers, so like this is what I went deep into, like stats wise. People that just got paid. Kyler Murray, the little dude, you know what I mean? The infant runner. I can't unthink it that he literally runs like a little, little 2-year-old with the ball in his hand. Like Tommy Pickles in Rugrats. I can't like
What's he?
unthink that.
Who is this?
But Kyler Murray,
Oh, the infant runner. Do you see the meme of him? They're doing memes about driving to camp, and it's like this little toy car in the highway. Kyler Murray driving to
no,
camp.
but he's like a little guy. So like that, like miss me
Yeah.
with the mobile part. Like he just got paid. You want to know his record? 22 and 23. Like he's produced nothing besides just mediocrity. He got paid. Deshaun Watson, like again, that's another person that it's a
Bro,
name
and
right
you give
now.
Deshaun Watson that money with all that shit circling him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so miss me with like there's the reason why he hasn't been paid. Like, you know who
There's no
also got
reason.
money? Carson Wentz. He went to
Dude,
Washington. He got why?
people love giving Carson Wentz money.
Why?
You know who else gets money? My
Nick
guy up
Foles.
there, Kirk Cousins
Yeah, I
gets
wasn't even
bag.
gonna talk about him. I would see. I'm not gonna go down that route. Like,
What do they all have in
there's,
common?
I don't understand it. And like, the only person that I would say is like reasonable that got the money, but like still hasn't proven anything. Dak Prescott. Like, I love Dallas. Not
Yeah.
sorry. I love Dak as a quarterback. Can't stand Dallas. Love Dak. He's an SEC guy. Like, but he really hasn't done anything. And then I'll peg you with this question, and then we can keep talking. We can move on. Whatever's up to you. This is the one that's it aggravates me the most. Is Justin Herbert going to struggle getting his second contract?
Nah,
Why?
because he's got beautiful flowing hair.
Like the problem with that is when
I think
everything
it's
that
just honestly, it's a stigma. Like if you're considered a pocket passer, like you're considered the gold standard at quarterback. But if you're like a mobile, because there's in between. So like Josh Allen, so Ty brought up earlier in the chat, like Josh Allen, yeah, he's mobile, but he's not considered like
scrambling.
purely he's like a hybrid. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas people think of Lamar Jackson as just like Michael Vick Jr. Like he's just a scrambler.
And they can't get
And
over that.
yeah, and I think it's unfair to him because one, that offense is built for him to be a running back pretty much. Like they build the offense for him to run, and then two, like who's he gonna throw to? So like it's kind of situational, and I think the Ravens know that, and they're just gonna just hold out as long as they can and try to jerk him around. I do have a question for you about the situation
Mhm.
though. Do you think it's hurting him that he doesn't have an agent in this whole thing? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, because he does it himself with his mother.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like I said, he's different. And Mama raised him right. He's not going to pay extra money to somebody else that he can do himself. We saw what happened when Richard Sherman did that. Richard got paid. So like it's not that it can't happen. He's just like you don't need to have negotiating skills to just look at
Well,
examples.
when you're
That
that
like
yeah, say when you're that good, like you can be like, all right, this dude's top 5
yes,
quarterback. I want his money. Like
if
it's
he
easy.
was, 15th through 20th ranked quarterback in the league, then I'd be like, well, he needs an agent to talk for his money. But he's not. I'm not even going to say he's top 5. He's top 10, and he's top 10, and he's not ranked 10th. Like he's a guy that's going to get you wins. He's going to get you to the playoffs. And granted, if they have a healthy team, they got blitzed by Tennessee.
Yeah.
Everybody got blitzed by Tennessee and Derrick Henry. So like it happens. So I don't want to hear anything about his playoff record. It's just like that can't be the reason why he's not getting paid.
Here, here's what I don't get though. Like, I don't understand the Lamar Jackson haters because like he's just from a pure sport point of view, he's the probably one of the top funnest players to just watch play football.
Mhm.
Like, how do you want to root for that to fail? Like, don't you like fun? I don't
Because his
understand,
style of quarterback is not meant for the NFL. He goes against the grain.
dude.
He's not Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not launching it at 80 yards downfield. He's running and people are like, "Oh, you should play running back." And then he'll lead the league in passing touchdowns and like, "Well, it was a down year for passing." Like, you know what I mean? Like he can't win. Can't
Yeah,
win with his arguments. I think it was
it's
2020 when he led the NFL. No, it was before COVID year. He led
yeah.
the NFL in passing touchdowns, and people were like, "Well, it's a down year for passing." What? Like, how can that be his fault?
It's tough because like obviously the historical comp is always like these statues behind the line, right?
Mhm.
Like these statue quarterbacks. But like if you look back in the past, there is no real precedent of this type of quarterback before Michael Vick. There was like a Warren Moon, there was a couple guys, but my point is that they say, oh, he's a scrambling quarterback, can't win. However, because there's such a small percentage, of course, there's going to be proportionately disproportionate amount of these big statue quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls just because the numbers, there's just so many of them.
Facts.
Just not a good argument to have. I don't know. We both like Lamar. I hope the man gets his bag and he's got to get meaner. Like, dude, don't show up to camp, get your money. Don't go out there and play this year and get hurt. Because the last thing you want to do is be a nice guy for the team, get hurt. You know who you got to ask about that? Ask Isaiah Thomas from the Celtics about being a good guy for the team because he lost all of his money trying to be a team player.
Very true. It is a
Ass.
dog eat dog world. So like I respect what he's doing. I really do honor it. I think it's what more athletes need to do in the games. But you're right. I mean, most NFL players don't make the third contract, so he's got to make his money this one
Oh,
because
he's
most of
got
them
to
don't
talk
get
to
the
your
third.
boy. He's got to talk to your boy, the infant runner, about getting that bag.
I'm telling you, you're not gonna unsee it.
I'm gonna see
Literally,
how
when
that's
he
for the
has
rest
the
of my
ball,
life.
it's just like he's like "Ee," like a little 2-year-old
Uh,
running around the wood hardwood floors.
Kyler Murray is the infant runner, just to clarify for
You
you guys
heard it
haven't
here
done it.
first. The infant runner.
Tommy Pickles is the new nickname that Darian
Oh
Mr. D
man.
gave him. All right, so I think we've had enough of Lamar Jackson. So what else did you want to talk about today? Because obviously we're talking quarterback with Lamar Jackson. Everyone loves a good quarterback conversation.
Yeah,
So
let's roll into was it second years? That's a big topic because youth it's the youth movement. You know what I mean? Like the youth movement is who's
dude,
going to be the next, stapled quarterback, especially in last year's draft with we'll just rip off the names. You had Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Davis Mills up in Houston or out in Houston, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Trey Lance. Granted, I
yeah.
just might have just gave my order right there because I kind of went out of
Did Trey Lance at the
on a
bottom?
drink. No, so cool. So you didn't even hear, you didn't get it. So if
I'll
you're
listen
gonna,
to you, man.
no,
That's the
you're
thing.
good. You're good.
I'm here to listen to myself. So don't worry about it. Keep going.
All right. Well, I'll rip them
I'll
off.
tell
So
you.
like, if you're gonna go at least from my ranking, it's just you have to think about situation. You have to think about upside. You have to think about the team.
Right.
And like I'm not gonna go in depth with strength of schedule. No, we don't need to worry about that. But like I think the worst out of all of them, or at least the toughest ranking, number 6 is Justin Fields. Chicago is a tough place. It's not only an area that people really aren't going to sign there. Granted, a lot of people say in the NFL they go wherever the money's there. I get that, but they're not drawing names. You know what I mean? Like they just lost Tyreek Cohen in the offseason doing drills on the beach. Like, no, I think he was at his gym. But like tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Like the kid can't catch a break. He's on his second offensive coordinator in 2 years. Like a new system off of his rookie season. That was a new system. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's got bad situation written all over it
Yeah.
for him to just fail and then everybody blame him for it. It's like how?
That team, they're doing him no favors. We were talking before the show, and I didn't realize how bad that Bears team was.
Yeah,
Their best receiver is probably what, Mooney, and then you
has to
got
be
like
Mooney.
Nikhil Harry, Pringle, a guy named
Yeah.
Pringle, David
Pringle was on
Montgomery.
KC last year. So like you didn't even know who he was. And like the KC's has a potent
He was
offense.
like
Like
their
that, I
fourth receiver
think he
or
was a kick
something like that.
returner. That
Yeah,
might have been it.
I feel like Fields is a guy that they're gonna give up on too early. I honestly like I didn't rank them, but like as far as just pure talent, I like Fields. I thought he
Mhm.
was probably the thought he was the second best quarterback coming out of that draft class. I wasn't a big Zach Wilson fan. I know it sounds easy to say it in retrospect, but I
Mhm.
wasn't a big fan of Zach Wilson. I don't know. I think Fields, he just needs to have stability around him and the right pieces. I'd probably have him a little higher. I think there's still a future for him. Probably not this year though.
Yeah, it's not going to be this. It might not even be next. He's got to wait for somebody to be drafted to help out. But if he fails this year, guess what they're going to look for? A quarterback in the draft,
Right.
which is ridiculous. They're going to give him 2 years and be like, "Well, we couldn't do it with you." And it's like, "Well, no crap. You couldn't keep a coach. You couldn't keep an offensive coordinator. So how the hell am I supposed to do it without all of this?" But like if you roll in the OC talk, like this is where it's like interchangeable, right? The middle of the pack is where I go back and forth with. I don't know if it's going to be this guy or this guy. Um, I would say fifth right now. It can be swapped with fourth. Is Mac Jones, and it's not even the fact that he has. This is nothing against.
A Mac hater.
No, I'll put up
Oh,
the
you're gonna
defenses
people
right
mad.
now.
People are gonna be mad about this Mac
It's
Jones take.
and that's fine. Hey, that's what I'm here for you guys to get mad about it and talk about it on Tuesday. But the reason being is the situation. Bill Belichick is the GOAT. He is the best coach of all time, if not of any sport. That does not mean anything when it comes to the quarterback situation. Their team is bad. Like from what I've heard, and like even something that helped, like solidified it is they ran a piece on ESPN about Mac Jones. They talked about his regimen. They talked about his eating schedule. They talked about him losing weight. They talked about his arm increasing. They talked about him visiting his wide receivers. And then Mike Reese came online and they were just like, yeah, I just want to let you know he's throwing 6 picks and 2 of them went back for touchdowns in training camp. It's like, what the hell? Like this is his leap year, but Josh McDaniels is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a binky that's no longer there. Like he, granted, like they haven't drafted the best, but like that falls on Belichick. Like they don't have offensive weapons. They got 17 running backs. Like I think this year he might go backwards, which that's
I mean,
not a good thing.
he overachieved last year, so there
Yeah.
might be a little regression. I don't think it'll be that significant because what the Patriots do, it's just a lot of like gimmicky shit to get people open. I hate like I'm not a Pats fan. I'll be straight up with everyone. I'm not a Pats fan, and it drives me crazy watching their offense because all they do is run these little rub routes, these little crossing rub routes to just get people open, and they'll still have that for them. Like they designed a really good offense. I know that McDaniels was an intricate part of that, but even when he was gone with the Denver Broncos, like they still had a very successful offense, Alabi under Tom Brady. So
I was gonna say, come on, man.
I don't know. I'm not as high on Mac Jones as other people, but like to have him like in your personal book like that low, I don't know, man.
1 second.
But
The reason why I do is because of his situation. Though it's not his talent. It's what I said. Like I said, you have to encompass everything that's on that. It's his talent. I mean, it's his team. Like he's got nothing around him that's going to help, which is also hurting, Justin Fields. But the Davis Mills situation, this is why it's interchangeable. He's out in Houston. Nobody really knows Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I feel like he's got more upside just because that team isn't in
wait. You're telling me you like Davis Mills over Mac Jones?
right now. Yes, because
All
of the
right.
situation.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not.
I'm gonna hold you to that. We're gonna revisit that take in like
Fine.
what do you want to do? 6 weeks, 8 weeks? What do
We
you
can
want
go
to
week
do?
6. We
Week
can go,
6.
yeah, because I think there's a couple division games that will be done and over with. So like that's when you really see how people are ranked. But yeah, I'm going Davis Mills over Mac Jones right now, just because I hear the S storm that's in New England. I don't hear it out, and I don't hear people complaining about Davis Mills right now.
Yo, because
Like
there's no Texas fans. That's why.
also true, but I mean, there is it. You can't escape the media. Like
Hey, how have
people
you
are
not
still gonna
seen Zach
report it
Wilson yet? By the way,
because there's a reason
he's
for it.
the most trash of them all.
You say that, but the dude that was it Stifler's mom, the
Yeah,
character
yeah.
from American Pie. I wish I knew his name, but like that's the situation now. I got Zach third, tell you the truth, because of his talent and what they have on offense. Like their offense is actually really good now. Elijah Moore out of nowhere came up as a really good wide receiver last year. Corey Davis is still good. Like they have Robert Salah in his second year. Like they have stability. They're not interchanging coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like their offensive coordinator is there back-to-back years. I think it's who's LeFleur. LeFleur's little brother or something like that. Not
Yeah.
Matt in Green Bay, but Mike, I think his name is. Like they have it's the situation that you're in. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
and
you're
like that
naming off the
helps.
situation, right? And you're like, oh, it's a good situation, but it was the same situation he had last year when he was just complete doo doo.
Do you
So
really
like, why
think
is it
that?
any different?
Do you think that he'd go backward? Do you think he'd go backwards
Oh,
though?
there's no going backwards. I mean, he can only go forward from here. But I'm
Right.
just saying, I don't see like if you look at him coming out of college, right? He played at BYU. And if you looked at the types of teams he played in college, like yeah, he had great numbers. He looked good, but he was playing like the bottom of the barrel in like the Division One bowl series. Like, so I think that he just wasn't ready to play NFL talent. And on the second note of that is like, do we even know if he's capable of every week playing NFL level football and like the speed of NFL football? Because right now it looks like he's not. I think he had like what 16. I think he had 16 interceptions and like 11 touchdowns last year. It was some abysmal number, and I just don't. It
His
maybe.
talent is better than the quarterbacks that are ranked below him, though. His talent and his
Hmm.
situation. He's a better arm talent, a better act. Like he's a little bit more mobile than Mac and Davis. He's not as mobile as Justin, obviously, but he's a little bit more mobile than those two, and he's got a better arm. We saw Mac Jones not be able to throw in December and in January last year. Literally could
Another thing
not
you're
throw.
overlooking though is like, okay, you believe in his talent. All right, fine. I
Nope.
don't. But then like I know you don't want to talk strength of schedule and we're not, but he's in what is it, the
AFC East.
AFC East? That's a really tough division, especially for quarterbacks, because the Dolphins defense is no joke. The Patriots are always going to scheme up a good defense, and that Bills defense is no joke. So like he's going to play those three teams that combine 6 times. Whew, God help that kid, because it ain't going to be pretty.
Max could do the same thing. Unfortunately, that's why I go. I think the Jets, if they keep doing what they're doing. So I'm not gonna say that they're better. I'm not gonna say the Jets are better than the Patriots, but I am gonna say that all three those two teams, they're interchangeable right now. They're a lot closer than everybody thinks.
What
Like
two teams?
the Bills are leading the division. I think the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots, they're all interchangeable. Every one of those teams here,
No
you say
way,
that
dude.
now.
There's a clear hierarchy.
Every single one of those three teams could go 3-1 against each other, or 1-3. Each the Bills can beat all of them,
Yeah, they're the
right?
best.
But
There's a
New
clear
England,
second in the
yes,
Dolphins. The
New England
Dolphins are
could
clear
lose to
second.
both. New England already struggles against Miami. They have and they got better. They got Tyreek Hill. Who the hell
Yeah.
is covering Tyreek Hill? Like nobody wants to talk about that. They'll talk about we're not gonna go down the road of Tua, but like who the hell is
Two and
gonna cover
on's gonna
Tyreek?
come after you.
Like that's fine, but like those three teams, like they're all interchangeable. Like either one of them could go 3-1 against the other two, or they could go 0-4. Like because that's how close the gap is now.
I
But
don't know. I feel like the Dolphins are closer to like a 10-win team. The Patriots probably like hover around 9, 8, and then the Jets are gonna win like 5 games at most.
we'll see.
It's like it's stratified.
We will see. I believe. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say the believe word yet because I'm not an AFC strategist, AFC East strategist. But I think Zach Wilson will have a better year than Mac Jones.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna
to
look up
move
the Vegas odds too while you go to the next quarterback
that
because
works for me.
I'm wondering if they're agreeing with me of my projection.
Hey man, I don't care about Vegas. But if you put your money where your mouth is, no, I'm kidding. I'm going Trevor Lawrence though as the next one.
Damn, dude, you're
Because
crazy.
he's got he's got a better coach. He doesn't have to worry about Urban Meyer there. He's got better players. I think LSU boy, can't remember his name. Wide receiver that he tore his ACL last year. He's coming back. Travis Etienne, another Clemson, hookup that they'll
Yeah.
have at running back. So like, and one of the main things, he doesn't have the number one pressure anymore. He had his bad year, like that's gone.
Mhm.
Next year, if he doesn't succeed by next year, then people will start saying, was this draft pick worth it? Right? But everybody knew how bad Jacksonville was last year.
Are you
Like
thinking
now
about
they have
Christian Kirk, by the way, the wide receiver?
no. I have his name, DJ Chark. Because I remember the baby shark.
I don't believe he's on that team.
No, there wasn't DJ. There's a wide
No.
receiver that used to go that was from LSU that went there.
I'll
That
read off
plays
the
there.
depth chart if you want. I got Kirk,
Mhm.
Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, Chenault Jr., and Laquan Treadwell.
Oh man, maybe not. I could have sworn that they had a wide receiver from LSU.
It's okay.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, I get what you're saying with him. Like, there was a lot of pressure in the first year, I mean, no one cares about the Jags at this point, and like no one's even talking about Trevor Lawrence. So like, there's gonna be very little pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and any coach is gonna be an upgrade over Urban Meyer.
Yes, and they
I
got a
do,
Super Bowl winning coach.
yeah. And to be fair, Doug Peterson, like, yeah, he kind of flamed out with the Eagles, but he did kind of quarterback whisper Carson Wentz into being decent, and now Carson Wentz has been passed around the league since then. I would have had Trevor Lawrence as my number one. I still believe in his talent. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't like the Jaguars or believe in the Jaguars, but it is what it is. So that means you have Trey Lance at number one for
Trey
you.
Lance, again, situation. A team that was in the NFC Championship last year, and he's just taking over the reins. Granted, if the Shanahans are stupid and they just don't play him to play Jimmy Garoppolo for some reason, then that changes everything. But Trey Lance is walking into an incredible situation where he has Debo Samuel, who got paid, meaning he can play. He's got George Kittle. We're not going to talk about the defense, but he's got George Kittle. He's got Elijah Mitchell, I think is the running back, and Trey Sermon. Like, he's got an offense. Like, there's room for him to literally, or at least he's set up to not fail, right? So when you think about situations, you think about just get the ball to your playmakers. That's all he has to do for him to get the best stats, get the best record, and just make sure that he doesn't fuck up. And Kyle Shanahan had Jimmy Garoppolo, who couldn't throw the ball more than 30 yards. Like, Trey Lance can launch the ball down the field. Like, what do you think they're going to be able to do with that arm now? Like, it's just, he has the best setup. He is how Patrick Mahomes was for KC. The best setup for a team for him to take over the reins from somebody else. And I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. What I'm saying is he's set up for success the same way we thought Mac Jones was because of his coaching in New England last year. But Trey Lance has the better talents around him.
I mean, there's two, like, yeah, he has better talent, but do we even know he's actually a good quarterback? Because he played a handful of games last year. So we have a very small sample size. And then college, I think he only played a few games with 3 games with North Dakota State. So not even like FBS.
It's a COVID year. That was COVID year though.
So there's just so much unknown. Like, yeah, I feel you. Like, the situation's right, but if you you might have all the right ingredients, but if you don't have what you need to cook whatever you're eating, it's going to come out shitty. So I don't know. Like, obviously they see something in him because they're actively trying to get rid of Jimmy G. But to be fair, why wouldn't you? Because Jimmy G's not going to win you. I mean, he's gotten them to the Super Bowl, but
he's got his ceiling.
He's not special. So like, if you can get there with Jimmy G, why not try it with Trey Lance? And you spend all that draft capital on him.
The draft picks is the biggest thing.
I think with him though, if you're the 49ers, it's kind of like, well, we got to see what we got. Like, you drafted him, so it's like, let's see what we got with him. I still like Trevor Lawrence just because I think from a pure skill standpoint, he's much more ready. Like, he came to the league, they thought he was going to be like the next Peyton Manning. Like, he was one of the highest graded quarterbacks
of like the history of the NFL.
He doesn't have like his weapons aren't terrible. I like the situation. I like that he not going to have a lot of pressure playing in Jacksonville because no one's going to really care if they struggle. But I don't know. I kind of hate the list, to be honest with you. I was going to say I don't, but I'm like thinking back, like how you had things ranked, kind of hate it. But we'll
week
see.
Week six. I think last time that we did this, we made buy, sell, trade.
Dog, I crushed that shit.
Yeah, but I didn't get to follow up. Life happened. We down in North Carolina, come on and raise up. But like, now we're here. So like, this is the type of stuff that like, when I see you guys down here, down in the chat, like, hold us to that. Like, week 6, like, this is what we're come back to. They're going to make sure that, like, we'll talk about this list again. But, if I have to eat crow or if I just sit here and say you motherfuckers was wrong, like, it's that simple.
Kai's my dude. He's holding you accountable. I'm looking on all of this stuff, man. Trevor Lawrence, dude, don't sleep on him. I mean, just to circle back on the AFC East thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Vegas odds are, as far as wins over under. So Bills are 11.5. So they're going to be like 11, 12 win team. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have the Dolphins and Pats lockstep at 8.5. So like there's a second tier, and then the Jets are 5.5. So like, clearly the Jets, they don't believe in your boy Zach Wilson or the Jets. But you're saying take the over on that.
Yep, I would definitely take the over on New York winning 5 games.
Jets, right? That's Jets over. Oh man, did you wanna get into the NFC South stuff, or do you wanna get to the Grizzlies 5? What do you think time wise? Do you think you have enough to steam through both the NFC South and the last two
There's
topics?
not as much steam with the NFC South right now. So like when I got up this morning, I thought there was going to be something to talk about it. We can kind of just rip through them real quickly.
Yeah,
Like
let's
we
just
know,
train through it.
yeah, like we know Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay, right? They got Brady, they got a decently returning defense. But you got a wide receiver that's coming off of injury. Mike Evans is still gonna be Mike Evans. We got, Leonard, Zion, Williamson, Fournette, like people that just apparently they just can't prevent themselves from losing weight. Like I don't understand. But like the Bucks are the Bucks. And this isn't Homer. Like I understand that the Bucks are a better team than New Orleans, but the Saints usually have the Bucks number. Brady struggles against them.
Are you on the Saints now too?
No, I'm just saying, like, I think the Bucks are the best team in the division. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm just saying, I think the Bucks struggle
I
against New
think
Orleans. They
I think we
scheme
should
against
kind
them.
of kind of lay out to the audience why we picked the NFC South, right? Because
Yeah, you go first.
I'm a Bucks fan, and now I'm not like a new Bucks fan, like, oh, go Tom Brady. No, like I've been with them for like 20 years through all this shit. You're a Saints fan. You also live in North Carolina, so there's a lot of ties from like all these teams, like right.
Right.
So we figured NFC South, it would be a good one to talk about. I'm with you, man. Like obviously the Bucks are the cream of the crop here. My concern with them, like I don't think there's a ton of concerns, right? They lost Gronk. They brought in lesser tight ends and Rudolph. They have Cameron Brate, who's always available, and people were losing their shit over the wide receiver ad of Julio, right? So their weapons are great, except for I'm a little suspect of my boy Lenny. He too many buffets in the
Can't lay
offseason,
enough the burgers, bro.
dog.
I don't
Like I
get
people
it.
are just like, oh, he'll just get in shape in camp, and like that's a good way to get like pull a hamstring if you come into camp like that and just think you're
You
getting
don't get
shape.
in shape in camp.
Nah,
You go to camp in shape because you are going to get screwed over. For those that have played, they will know you do
yeah.
not get in shape in camp. It doesn't work like that.
I got a little sidetracked, but I guess
Mhm.
my only concern with the Bucks is like that offensive line, especially the interior. They lost their two guards.
Mhm.
I think their center was. I mean, originally it was reported as a very serious injury. So what you're going to see is a lot of pressure, likely a lot of pressure up the middle, and that's where Tom Brady's at his worst. Right? He doesn't mind the pressure on the side because he's very good at stepping up and doing these little side moves once
Mhm.
he's moving in the pocket. But he's not mobile at all. And if you're going to blitz him up the middle, he's going to have a tough time getting outside and like and getting away. So my biggest concern is that whole situation. And it reminds me of a lot of if you think back in the Super Bowl when the Bucks actually won the Super Bowl and they played the Chiefs, and we all thought the Chiefs were going to win, no problem, and they got their ass beat because the pressure on Patrick Mahomes is just
He was running all day.
exactly. And I'm just worried that you're going to have the same situation on the other side this year with the Bucks, at least to start the season with the injury and the changing of the guys at guard, where Brady's just not going to have any time at all. So it's a still to be seen. And then as far as your Saints, I mean, you had
Yeah.
a quarterback who
So
got hurt
had
today.
one until he got carted off the field today. Granted, it's just an ankle injury. And I don't even think it's the same ankle that he tore his ACL with, but it's an injury. It's a setback in training camp. Like week one or week preseason week one starts next week. Like we want to make sure that we're getting everybody as healthy as possible. Mike Thomas is back. He looks good. Like from what I've seen, he's playing 11v11, no contact, so he looks good. The defense is returning the way that we want it to. So like they got a great addition of Jarvis Landry. Like Juice back there is going to be very helpful for not just like catching the ball, but taking handoffs or that random wide receiver pass. Like we've seen him do those trick plays. But that leaves you with the question of who's the quarterback. Like if Jameis isn't out there, Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill. So like there's a problem with that right there.
I mean, even
I
with Jameis, there's a problem.
and see, everybody says that, but people won't look into it that they were 5-2 before he got hurt. Five
I
and
know.
two coming off of them
But Darian,
blitzing the Bucks last year.
can I
Like,
tell you what the deal is with Jameis? Because
oh, here
I'm
we
a
go.
Bucks fan. I've watched
Yep.
Jameis for 5 years.
You watched Jameis without him
You
having Sean Payton and a
you
New Orleans team.
oh, guess what? He doesn't have Sean Payton this
He
year. So
doesn't, but he still has a
Jameis,
New Orleans team, and Dennis Allen still
listen,
coaches the same way.
there's two things you gotta know about Jameis: the good Jameis and the bad Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
And while that 5-2 was great, you saw the good Jameis because that thing flips on a switch. He'll be great for the first 7 games and just be dog shit the next 7.
But
So
what
like
happened? Okay.
And he'll do that from half to half. He'll do that from quarter to quarter. It's like that's what Jameis does. There's no consistency. So like I get you were excited about that 5-2 record with him, but I would have liked to see that play out and see how that ended because you could have got the bad Jameis in the second half.
Could have. Ty makes a good point. Granted, it's just a joke, but like he can see clearly now that the rain is gone. He's got 20/20 vision. He got contacts. He played like his whole career without being able to see. Not even a joke though. Like to tell you the truth, what Bruce Arians did in Tampa, chuck it and duck it. Like just go out there and what was the phrase that they used for Brady? Like just go, throw the ball as much as you fucking can. Just grip it and rip it. Like that was their mentality. And then he goes to New Orleans and they're like, nah, like that's not gonna fly here. Granted, like Sean Payton's not there anymore, but like Allen is. He's still the same coordinator that was there prior to Peyton leaving. And it's like just don't do anything to hurt the game. You're gonna still throw. There's gonna be games where he's gonna go throw 3-1, and there's gonna be games where he does 2-2, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's fine. Just don't throw that interception in the fourth quarter, which he was controlled last year. He didn't
like
have to be in that
Cookie
situation.
Not to eat a cookie. Like that's what he does, man. You can't tell him not to throw a pick. That's what Jameis does.
He didn't have to worry about that. He was in a much better situation last year, and he's got the same team, but he's got a stronger team returning this year. If he and everybody can stay healthy, like Olave on the outside, come on, like we're not gonna talk about rookie wide receivers, but like Olave on the outside, Michael Thomas is back. He's got Kamara. If he doesn't go to, he doesn't catch his
Michael
case
Thomas. I haven't seen that man play football in 2 years.
Slant Michael. That's it. Hey, just run a 2. That's it.
Trust it.
Snap of the ball, run a 2. That's all you need to do is run a slant.
I low-key though root for Jameis because like he might be the most hilarious player in all of football. Like the dumb shit he does is great.
Like that video. As long as we're not eating a W, like that's all.
You see him working out this offseason with the rubber weights.
He looks so unathletic, but J. Boo Williams does his thing. Like let him eat, not crab legs, but like let him do his thing.
This like within a year span, there's just so many memeable things of Jameis. How about when they beat the Bucks and him with the torn leg, just like dancing
on the crutches? Yeah. I was like, that's what the kids say. He was lit. Like it was funny. Like I thought that's your quarterback. That's my QB1. But they're still the second best team in the division. And the other teams, like nobody really cares about Carolina right now.
I think Carolina's low key gonna be sneaky good.
Matt Rule is gonna make them. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying like not good. Like they're gonna be in the playoffs, but like I think they'll be wicked annoying, like a team that like will just be a good team on a random day. Because like I'm higher on Baker than most people. I think the situation was pretty shitty as far as like he was injured almost all of last year, and I think like some of the situation surrounding Cleveland with him has been kind of unfortunate. But I think he's better like than what he's been treated like recently. I think he's an upgrade over Sam Darnold. And they have some decent skill guys. It's guaranteed McCaffrey's going to miss 5+ games. But
started with that topic.
If they can keep guys healthy and their defense is like decent, it's probably like top 12-ish. Like they're a team that could like to sneak up and like beat the Saints, maybe beat the Bucks, split the season series with the Bucks, like something sneaky like that. They'll probably finish with like 8-9 wins.
Yeah, they're the annoyance. They're definitely the annoyance in the division. But that quarterback situation, like we saw the best of Sam Darnold, and then we saw what he'll never be again in his life. Like we saw him start off really hot last year, and I think DJ Moore, is that the wide receiver out there? Yeah. Like he was incredible to start the season, and then teams were like, "Hey, remember the guy that said he was seeing ghosts? Like just make him do that again." And then he just couldn't fucking do anything in the rest of the half. And having that situation, Robbie's over the hill. He's not any good.
He was okay,
at least in my opinion. He can run a fly. That's about it. And Baker's got a better arm than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was ranked as one of the best quarterbacks to ever come out of college. Like he has the tools for it. Like he doesn't have an incredible arm, but he's got a good arm and he's got an accurate mind. Like he's good with that. But when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. That will always be true. I think it was Lou Holtz that said it a long time ago. Like it's just the truth. If you got 2 quarterbacks competing for a job in camp, you don't have one. That's a step backwards. And nobody's ever going to talk about the Falcons.
I don't really think it's a competition though. I think that Baker's going to grow with it.
No, he said that Matt Rule said that it would be Sam Darnold's. But you wouldn't say it would be Sam Darnold's job to lose unless you're starting Baker
Has he
Mayfield.
watched any of last year? Of course, it's not his job to lose. Cam Newton came and took snaps for him. Cam Newton's just is washed as a towel, man.
Oh man, when he screamed, "I'm back," I
That
lost
was
it. I lost it.
I
And
liked it
then
though. It was hilarious.
love Cam, love Cam. Hate that this whole situation is done now in the NFL, but that's the NFL life,
The
honestly.
best part of that was like I think the week before, like he was like shot at Auburn University in the stands, like going nuts shirtless with Bruce Pearl.
Mm,
Next week I'm back, and then the week after that,
and
not
then
so
that
much.
happens.
Do you want to even mention the Falcons? Are they worth a breath?
Oh, it's not. Marcus Mariota is leading their team. Like, go
Hey,
somewhere else.
low key though,
Two-win team, maybe.
yeah, they're probably the worst team in football. But low key, like week one's gonna be fun. It's gonna be I know Jameis is hurt. I was gonna say it would have been Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, week one
Oh, repeat of the
matchup.
national championship. They play
Well, I
the
mean,
Falcons. I
number
have to
one,
look.
two pick. It was Falcons Saints week one, so I thought it would have been fun to watch Mariota
Oh
and
no,
James
Florida
head up.
State didn't play Auburn. My bad.
No,
Who
but
did
they were
Mariota
one
play in
two
the
in the
national
playoff.
championship?
Oh, I don't even remember.
They Auburn. They play Auburn. That's what
Yeah.
it was. It was Oregon Auburn.
All right, so I think we can wrap up the NFC South. I'm tired of talking about these garbage
Yeah.
teams, especially the Saints garbage team.
Whatever.
All right, so let's get into a fun segment. We're going to do this every week, right? And I guess we'll explain it on the back end. Shall I fire up the sounder?
Yes, sir.
Prepare yourselves for the greatest and most unique segment in podcast history. Let's rank some stuff with D. It's time for Frizz's 5.
All right, Darian. It's Frizz's 5. Explain to people what's going on here.
So each week we will pick a topic that's out there. And for those that are participating in the chat, I appreciate you, Ty. Anybody that wants to send over any type of topic that you want to see Frizz throw out his best 5, his top 5 of, let me know. We'll see if we can throw it on a show for you. We'll shout you guys out. Obviously, if it does make the cut for it being, we do have a laundry list of what we'll do top 5s for. But again, we're trying to make this as interactive as possible. Submit them on IG, Apple Podcasts, send them us any reviews. Submit it on Twitch if you want to DM me directly, or you can send it to Trudeau, whichever is easiest. We're trying to make this as interactive as possible.
All right, so you're going to give us the top 5 of your own. What is the topic for week number 1 of Frizz and Grizz?
Coming out hot with this one, and I'm ready to hear everybody's takes for it. We're going with D Frizzy Frizz's top 5 sports movies of all time. This is my top 5. I don't give a damn about your top 5, and if you disagree, kick rocks.
Kick rocks is just an expression. That's great. I feel like the chat's going to be lit for this top 5 because I feel like everyone has very strong opinions. I have a question for you because
yes, sir.
All right, so little behind the scenes to the audience. I knew that the Frizz's 5 this week would be top 5 sports movies. However, I didn't ask a single follow up because I wanted to keep it for this. How serious are you picking your top 5? So, like for example, does the movie have to be strictly about the sport, or can it be kind of filmed around the sport?
It is.
So, for example,
attached to the sport. It is as close to it being. It's not as a movie that happens to have the sport in the background and it's a great story. Like it's not. I can't even give an example because I don't want to give it away.
I wrote down for one of like I went a different route probably than yourself, but like for one of my movies that I really enjoy that sports related, I wrote down Talladega Nights, Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Now, granted, it's more of a comedy that has sports built around it, but would that qualify for your list?
It would qualify as an honorable mention. It's not going to be
in the same category.
Yeah,
though,
so like those still count. Like there's still because granted, like there's like there for me funny movies like Rebound. I know like not many people would know what that is, but it's an old movie with Martin Lawrence about him coaching. I think he used to coach college basketball and then he has to go back and coach like middle school. So it's like the movie is about him getting back into basketball, but it's not about the middle school basketball team. You know what I'm saying? So like that's not a movie that I would put in the top 5 for it because it's not centered around it.
Because I low-key hate some of these like really cheesy sports movies about like perseverance, like Rudy. Like, get the fuck out of here, Rudy.
Hate Rudy. And I don't give a damn what anybody says. I cannot stand Rudy. Not only can I not stand it, but I'm glad that there are people that have come out and said they hated him. Like he was a tryhard, like a guy that like if he was on my team, I probably would have choked him out. But like if I'm running sprints and I'm running at my fastest, I don't need you to try to beat me so that we could run more. Like, no, let just don't do that, because we're all just trying to finish sprints. Like, that's it.
Yeah, man, Rudy is a suck up, man.
I hate him, bro.
That guy.
That's can't stand him. Can't stand him at all.
Getting a lot of hate in the chat for the NASCAR reference. Not as
well, that's on you. It's not your top 5. So let's get it started, baby.
Sport movie. All right, Darian.
Honorable mentions. We're gonna do honorable
mentions
mentions first, just to make it easier. If we get a chance to do them, cool. But if not, every week.
I got a little sound, so every time you say a name, I'll give you a little sound. We'll try it the first time. Tell me if you like it, okay?
Honorable mention number 1, The Sixth Man. Like it, hear it. So it is a old school basketball movie with Marlon Wayans, and I think it's Kadeem. I always forget his last name, Henderson or something like that. The guy from a different world. Back in the 90s, it's about a team, UW, University of Washington. Just to recap, so everybody knows, Marlon Wayans and his brother, they play on the same basketball team. One of them goes up for a dunk. He does the swing. He has a heart problem, lands on his back. Brother dies. Sucks. Damn. But he's a ghost the rest of the movie, and he's helping his brother win.
So they were cheating.
Yes. 100% cheating. And then, like, at the end of the movie, he goes to shoot a shot, and his brother goes to help him, and he's like, "No, don't, just leave it." And
what a buster!
It's like bro, it goes in though.
That reminds me of the commercial where the kid's like, "Coach, it was out of bounds."
I fouled him.
I fouled him, Coach.
But no, it's a good movie. If you get a chance to go see it, definitely go watch it. Honorable mention number 2, Waterboy.
That was on my list.
Let's go. Mad about the Waterboy, bro. Bobby Boucher, Adam Sandler. I'm not gonna lie, one of his funniest performances. I love the movie. Everybody about it that was in it. You know, can't beat the Mud Dogs in the Bourbon Bowl. Unfortunately, like, there's just so many great quotes. The kicker, like, everything.
Bobby Boucher came with and then what is about.
Just everything about the Waterboy. Just a great movie. Like, I'm definitely kicking that on. If it's on, I'm watching it. So, like, it's a channel stopper.
Right.
You know,
how many is this your last? Is that your last honorable?
One last one. Last one, and it's just because
too many honorable mentions, man.
It didn't make my top 5 though. That's it. Like, this movie would have made my top 5 if something else didn't come out. And I'm gonna go with Creed. And Creed, because of Creed 2, is the reason why it's not my top 5. I'm not even gonna go into depth because it's a little bit newer.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Newer, so people know that movie. But let's get into the actual top 5, right? This is what people want to listen to. This is top 5, and it's for me. Remember, I don't give a damn if it's not for you. But number 5, King Richard. King Richard. That movie is incredible. Will Smith, and this isn't even a Will Smith, like, you know, as much as people say that I used to like him over Denzel. Like, no, like, his performance in that movie is incredible. The story behind it with Venus and Serena, absolutely amazing. And it might be now that I got 2 daughters. It could be more that it hits the emotional heartstrings because I got 2 daughters. But, like, the quote that will always stick with me, and, like, when he said it, like, I get choked up when I hear it, is he looks at Serena right at the end of the movie, and he's just like, Venus is going to become ranked number 1 in the world. And he looks at Serena, he pulls her up, he's like, but you're going to be the best that ever played the game. And it's like, that shit is just fucking crazy. Like, he put all of his eggs in one basket to be like, I'm going to make sure that my daughter is the best that everybody knows. And I'm going to make sure that you get pissed off that she got all this credit, so you become the best of the game that's ever played. Like that, like, he sold everything to put into their tennis playing, and it worked. Like, granted, it's a story, but it's a story that, like, played out in Venus and Serena, some of the best athletes of all time. Serena is the best tennis player, men's or women's, of all time. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
I'm just trying to figure out how you're the best ever, but not number 1 in the world.
It's just saying first. Saying she's gonna be ranked first. I think they were teenagers at the time.
He should have told the truth that she wasn't going to be as good.
All right, going into number 4. Great movie, obviously, but number 4, Glory Road. I don't know if you guys appreciate it. Glory Road is about Texas. I think the Texas Miners back in the 1960s. Coach Dan Haskins. Obviously, how everything was back in the 1960s for an African American to be playing sports. Not only were they playing basketball in areas that they shouldn't have been playing, they were in Texas. Like, if not the hardest place to ever play a sport, being black in the 60s. Like, it's an incredible story about how they, had to suffer from people throwing chairs at them mid-game, like a whole bunch of shit that they got to go through, people fighting them at bus stops. Like, it's tough, but like that story in itself just shows perseverance. And they were able to beat, Kansas in the national championship, go down as one of the best college basketball teams in the history of the game because of it.
So that was 4 or 3. I lost count.
That was 4.
All right. What's number 3?
3, I'm going with Coach Carter. We're sticking with basketball.
I feel like you're going to leave out some really good ones because we're getting close to the top.
All right, that's fine. And that's what the debate is for. But Coach Carter, because we all know, what is your deepest fear? I'm not even going to go into that. But like, Coach Carter is just a great movie. When it comes to Timo, he started it first. Everybody says it was, Steph Curry, but Timo pulled up from 3 first instead of taking the layup. It's the reason why he changed the game. But I think Coach Carter is one of the best movies when it comes to just actually listening to everything. Yeah, I got you. But listening to like what the movie actually means. Number 2, they made a series about it. The series isn't as good as the movie. Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights is one of the best football movies, if not sports movies, out there. Because there's something about, you say that, bro. Them Permian Panthers. That in itself. You have Mike Winchell. Nobody cares about Boogie Miles, but Mike Winchell, Chris Comer. You had Preacher Man. You had Chavo, Billingsley. Like, that team in itself, like, that's just perseverance. So, like, I'm a big fan of it. Last one, the number 1. And if it's not number 1 on anybody else's list, you don't deserve to have a list. Remember the goddamn Titans, the best sports movie of all time. All right? Run a 23 blast with a backside George reverse. All right? Like your life depended on it. Denzel Washington in one of the best movies, if not just sports movies, but one of the best movies of all time. Like, that's me. That's my top 5. I'm sticking with it.
How are you not going to have The Sandlot in your top 5?
Oh, miss that me with The Sandlot. That again, is another movie based around a sport, but not about baseball. They played maybe 2 games in that damn movie, and one of them was at the end.
It's just fun, funny. You learn life lessons. Sandlot's a great movie. Also, you put in Creed, but not Rocky, which is Rocky. I don't pick your poison. Rocky 4 probably the best of all, but Rocky is solid. The one with Drago is dope.
Yeah, Drago's the best.
I watched Rocky. I want to go run through the woods and like punch.
This is it right here. This is Apollo Creed in Rocky, like that. We ran that literally back. It was 2010.
That was way too long. That's when I could drink and then actually not be dead in the morning.
When we showed up to the harp as Rocky and Apollo, that shit was hilarious. But no, the reason why I wouldn't put Rocky above Creed is just because like I relate more to Creed, and that's not a black thing. That's just I like the movie Creed more of a boxing standpoint than Rocky going out there getting his brains beaten and then always winning. I just don't think that it's not realistic, bro.
I loved the Rocky movies, and that set my expectation to what boxing was. And then I watched boxing for I'm like, oh, this is not as fun at all. Like the Rocky movies they just haymaker the shit out of each other.
No tacticalness, they just
All right, so some nominations thrown in the chat. Let's see. I got
some
Radio,
good ones too.
White Man Can't Jump, Love and Basketball. I like White Man Can't Jump.
It's not basketball related. Everybody says it is. It's not a basketball movie.
Which one?
It's about basketball, but it's not a basketball movie. White Man Can't Jump.
So another couple I had The Replacements. I like that movie. That movie's hilarious. That's a funny one. Happy Gilmore, if we're gonna go with the Waterboy route, Happy Gilmore's hilarious. Again, it's one of those movies that's not about the sports. Like Friday Night Lights is just about like football. And it's kind of cheesy in a way. But like some of these other movies,
it's a true story. How can a true story be cheesy? It happened.
Sometimes life's cheesy.
Oh, okay. It happened. Literally every one of those movies that I listed, they happened. They weren't fantasy. That was actual T.C. Williams. And remember the Titans, Permian Panthers, and Friday Night Lights, like that. Those actually happened. This man said Joanna, man.
Oh my that movie's hilarious though. Hey, Cool Runnings. I had Cool Runnings on my list. That's a good movie.
It's not a bad one. Yeah, that's again
the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah.
Again, I
42 is great. I saw bits and pieces of 42. It reminds me of The Express. I wish I watched it, but like 42 is a good movie just because it's Jackie Robinson, based on Jackie Robinson with
Yeah.
T'Challa. Rest in peace, man. He's gone way too soon. Way too soon.
I mean, like I would be mad about your top 5 sports takes, but I also remembered that you thought Zach Wilson was a god at football. So like, it is what it is. I'm gonna
Yeah,
track that. I'm gonna track that.
three
All right.
baby, rank 3.
All right, let's get to our last segment. We'll make this one quick. We'll just pick and choose a few of them. So we wanted to play a little, what's colloquially known as fuck, marry, kill, or like we'll just use less vulgar terms for this. So I have a list of players and a couple teams actually as well on my paper, and you're gonna take one of 3 options, right? You're gonna take one short term, right? So maybe like the next year or 2 if you want.
Mhm.
One long term, so it's like a committed relationship. You're gonna be with them for 6+ years, like a long time. Then one you're just gonna discard. Like I don't want them at all. They're trash. All right. You get this premise of this?
Yeah.
All right, so I like this one. So first one, I'm gonna take your boy, Tommy Pickles, Kyler Murray, and I got Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson. 3, I feel like very similarly styled and thought about quarterbacks. One of them's got paid their money though too, still trying to get that big payday.
Mm-hmm.
So which one do you want to out of those 3? You're good. I don't want you.
Kyler Murray. I'm not taking Kyler Murray.
Not a Kyler fan.
No, I
I think
am.
it's a fair one.
I am a fan of Kyler Murray, but I'm not a fan of his stability. Like he gets hurt a lot. He's also 5'9". Like, not saying that he can't play the position he's played it his entire life. That's gonna catch up to him. I'm sorry. This like you can't be able to just throw through lanes between your linemen for the rest of your career. That's just gonna be a thing that's gonna stop at some point. This is the tough part though, short term and long term, because if I'm trying to win right now, I'm going Lamar Jackson. I'm going with the spark in the pan to make sure that like he's going to get me where I need to go right now. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And then long term, granted, he was it an ACL, Dak?
No, he like broke his ankle.
Oh, yeah, ankle.
It
Yep,
was
it was an
bad. Yeah.
impound fracture. But like he's not injury prone. You see what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
he's going to get you consistent numbers year after year. He's going to throw 40 touchdowns. He's going to have 15 picks. So I'm going long term.
I
Dak.
think I'm with you on those 3. Like for Kyler Murray, right? If they got to tell you in your contract that you got to study, I don't know, bro. I don't know about you.
Oh man, it's embarrassment. Not even for just him, but for the whole team.
The fact that like I honestly like I get why they put that in there because they could kind of like have an out in the contract if they want to.
Mhm.
Like just to like let that get leaked, like that's just a bad look.
It's a joke.
Lamar
Absolute
Jackson,
joke.
like the thing about him is I feel like he's kind of lineup proof, right? Like it doesn't really matter the pieces you have around him, he's gonna make plays. So like short term, you can just drop him like pretty much anywhere. He's gonna improve your team. So like I
Mhm.
like that. And then long term, yeah, of those 3 though, like Dak's probably the least likely to get injured and have like longevity just because he's more of a pocket passer and he's been pretty good in Dallas. So I'm down with those 3. All right, I'm gonna give you just a pile of shit now.
Oh boy.
Same scenario, right? Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston. Your boy Jameis, you defended him vigorously like 15, 20 minutes ago. So I know you're not gonna get rid of him.
Baker, Jameis, Carson.
I feel like I know where I'm going with this one.
Cutting Carson.
Yep, that's the right one.
Again, injury prone. Yeah, he played at an MVP level his rookie season, but like hasn't really done anything since. Short term, I'm going Baker. I think he has the fire in him to win. He's just inconsistent, but I'll take his inconsistency in the short term over what I think Jameis Winston can be. And this isn't even a bias. I think I would rather have a Jameis Winston in the long term, somebody that is going to not be. He's definitely going to be the reason that you lose. But he has better understanding of the game of playing the quarterback position to me than Baker Mayfield.
I'm with you on the Carson. I think I'd flip the other 2 because I think Jameis Winston, like he can get you some points now, but we kind of know what he is. Like he's kind of a fully formed football player. He's not going to. I know you have like this expectation that he's going to change and become this miraculously good player, but he is who he is. The good Jameis, bad Jameis thing. So like I know what I'm getting with him. I feel like with Baker, you can kind of write off some of the bad years with injuries. So there's a hope that maybe he has something there in the tanks. So I'm gonna ride long term with Baker just because I don't know. I feel like he has more potential than left, like that you don't know than Jameis.
Yeah, but consistent injuries is a problem. The best ability is availability, and he
I know,
hasn't finished the season since he's been in the league.
I'm buying a lottery ticket here. Like I'm not like all these guys are terrible. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're below average, maybe average, right? So I'm buying the lottery ticket one that has the highest potential. And to me, that's Baker.
Gotcha.
I don't know. You can disagree with that one. All right, we'll do two more because we're getting close on time. Do you want a wide receiver? Do you want a quarterback, or do you want a running back for your last football one?
Let's go wide receiver.
All right. I feel like this one might be easy. I think I did it too. They're not like all like the same level, but I got Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, and CeeDee Lamb.
Damn.
Right? They're all really good young receivers. I think you can kind of make a case like they're all very almost different in like what they bring to the table. Like Jamar's like this big home run player. The only thing you can say bad about Jamar is like some games he'll disappear. At least like, it was 1 year, but like he'd have a 200-yard game followed by 40-yard game. Waddle had like 100+ receiving receptions. I think it was like 110. And then CeeDee Lamb can kind of do a little bit of everything. So I mean, pick your poison with this one.
Yeah, and this is gonna go against the grain, but I'm actually cutting CeeDee Lamb.
Wow. Waddle was being cut.
I almost thought I wanted to go that route, but CeeDee Lamb is a specimen. I don't think he's a number one, and we're gonna find out this year. I don't think he consistently shows up to be a number one. It might be just Dallas. Like I know that Dallas has their issues, but like, is it Amari Cooper that's the best? I know he's not there anymore, but like, is it Amari Cooper the best receiver? Is it Terrence Williams the best receiver? Is it you know what I'm saying? Like he was the guy that was throwing up the 88 like Dez. He was supposed to be that guy. For me, I don't feel like he has been. I'm going short term, the flash in the pan. That's Jalen Waddle. That man can run the route tree. Like he's crossing the middle. He's going deep. Like every receiver, every quarterback loves a guy that can take the top off the defense. But he can go across the middle. Like he's not afraid to do that. So like he has the ability to run the entire route tree. And long term, bro, that's an easy one. Jamar Chase, he's one of, if not the best one of like wide receivers in the NFL. It's not just his physicality, but like I know you said that he has a couple games where he'll be on or go off, but like that talent he has is just And so he made Jalen Ramsey look foolish in the Super Bowl, like absolutely on skates. And he's the best corner in the NFL. So like, what else did he do to everybody else besides the teams that we're trying to double him?
Yeah, this one was tough because like I think of the three, it's pretty like clear that you'd want to take Chase long term because he has the highest ceiling. Right, he's the most athletic, fastest. He can do things the other two can't. It just comes down to who you would take other than him. I think I'm with you with Waddle with your logic. I think Waddle has the highest floor probably of all the three, right? Because he's going to be consistent. He's going to run the route tree very well. He's going to get you all those underneath passes, do all the dirty work. At least that's what it seems. And he does have the ability to go deep. So I like that one. And then finally, the last three is kind of like the head case. This is not even going to be football. We're going to just like the drop in the bucket of basketball today, which, by the way, if you're going to listen to us in the future, we'll be on every Monday live and then the podcast every Tuesday. I love basketball. It's not basketball time. It's barely football time. It's just the lowest lull in sports right now. So I promise over the next couple of weeks, we'll get a little better topics. But so your last one for basketball.
Oh boy.
Russell Westbrook.
You had to do this. Kyrie
Irving. Ben Simmons.
Oh, you say Ben. Can
you just kill all three?
Can I get at least one question out of it? Is it Ben pre-mental issue or Ben
No,
now?
Ben right now. You're getting
Right
Ben right
now.
now.
Ben
Yeah.
Simmons right now.
You can all these 3 players, right? Of all, you know everything about them, who they are. Like, you know, Kyrie is gonna Kyrie. Ben Simmons is gonna maybe show up sometimes. I mean, Russ is gonna show up.
Russ is gonna be there, but I'm going.
Yo, this dude, my guy Ty said they're all Hall of Famers. Hey man, if Ben Simmons
I'm
doesn't never show
going
up again, he can't be a
cut
Hall of Famer.
Ben. I hate that
Oh,
because
don't tell me.
6'10" point guard is like that's just he's so far removed from the game right now. That's what I'm saying. Pre-Ben, he's staying. But right now, he's so far removed from the game. He just had that back surgery. He's got mental health issues. Like short term, Russie. He's
Wow.
gonna he's,
You're
he's
gonna
gonna yep.
wait. So you're gonna take your franchise and give it to Kyrie Irving. You're putting your franchise in Kyrie Irving's hands.
He is. It's not. I'm not. Hey, I didn't say we're gonna win a championship. You didn't say we're gonna win a championship. But long term, he's gonna fill the seats. Not only is he gonna fill the seats, like he's gonna drop 30 on a night if he's there. We just have to hope that he's fucking there
You
because
better hope he doesn't destroy that locker room too, because this is gonna be toxic AF.
very. But like the kid can ball. Like if we're talking about just ball players, like he can ball, and basketball is the only sport where one player can make a difference.
I
So
think you
that's
got to go Kyrie short term because, like, get him in and out before he gets everyone absolutely crazy. Because as soon as he starts burning that sage every day for a couple months, you're gonna want to kill the man. So, like, get him in and out, win a championship, do whatever you got to do. Ben Simmons, I'm gonna hold him long term and hope that like something gets right. Russ, I don't know, man.
like, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I
We were
can't.
talking before the show. If I can get Russ for like $4 million a year, I'll take Russ all day. But if
Yeah,
I gotta take that contract right now, I'm sorry, Russ, you gotta go.
well, that's why I said short term. You said hand over the
I guess
franchise, but you
you can
said
take him
short
short
term.
term. If I had to do short term though, no, Russ is gone.
Yeah.
Ben's my long term.
No, I'm saying for when you said it to me, you said you would take Russ. You would hand over the. Oh no, you said to hand over the keys to Kyrie. No, you're right.
You're
You're right.
handing over the keys to Kyrie because you
Yeah,
said
you're right.
Russ is gone. And I was like, that's a bad choice, giving the franchise to Kyrie. It's worked out so well in Cleveland. It's worked out so well in Boston. It's worked out so well in Brooklyn. And now Darian and his Lakers are going to ride with Kyrie for the next 15, I don't know, 10 years.
I didn't say I wanted to. It's just that unfortunately is just the way you gave me a terrible list to end the damn show. I
That's
was
the
all
list.
happy and whatnot, how the whole thing went, and you gonna end it with that shit. That's
You know I like to end it with misery and pain.
oh, I gotta worry about this damn list.
Well, I want to thank y'all for watching live. Listen, this show is about incorporating you, the listener, viewer, more comments. We're going to use them in the show. And actually, going forward, we want to kind of incorporate one topic of yours a show. So, like, if you come up with a topic or a discussion point, we'll actually build a whole segment around it. So, get in here early, throw out your ideas, your topics, whatever you want to hear. We're here for you. But remember, rate, subscribe, review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the good stuff. Appreciate y'all here. Darren, you got anything for the people before we get out of here?
That's basically it. I hope you guys stay safe. Again, it's hot out there, so you guys make sure you stay cool. I know a lot of people act crazy when it's hot out, so make sure you stay inside if you can.
I like how you ended the show with a PSA for water. Hydrate, people.
Hey man, it's hot. It's hot in those streets. It's hot out here, so make sure that you guys stay hydrated, like he said.